Thanks for listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast brought to you by DraftKings. Throw down $5 on the game tonight, and you get $200 in free plays if that team wins. All right, now, joined by the nation's top-rated pass rusher in the class of 2024, a man that's going to be putting on a lot of travel miles as far as recruiting, Mr. Elijah Rushing. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
Not too bad, not too bad. First of all, when it's not often, and well, it was a few years ago, but it's not often that Tucson gets a kid like yourself who is being recruited at the very highest of levels. Give you an example. Tell us about what you were doing this past weekend.
I was trying to go to Oregon, but we missed the connecting flight, so I just stayed the weekend over in San Fran, and I came back ready for school the next day.
Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about your football background and everything. Now your dad obviously played. So Did you get into football early? Was this something that you knew you wanted to do? How did you come about?
I really came upon it later because I know I seen it going like through elementary and middle school. It never really piqued my interest. It was just something that just happened in my elementary school. But like one day I tried it. And I told my dad to sign me up for this Pop Warner team, and I just fell in love with the game.
Was there a point where you realized that, because you're a really humble kid. I've talked to a lot of people about you, and they all say he's not going to talk about himself a ton. But was there ever a point when you realized that I can do some things out there on the field that not everybody else can do?
Really, really what it was just my dad speaking life into a journey or like a plan that could go forward. Because I was just having fun at first. I was just like, all right, maybe I'm just here to have fun. And I started to see some progress. I'm like, all right, this could go somewhere, but I don't know yet. And he just kept speaking life into that, and then it blossomed into something. All right.
Now, were you always on the defensive side of the ball? Did you play a little bit of offense?
I played tight end. I played defensive end and tight end through my Pop Warner.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and what made you decide to stick on the defensive side?
I just love the competitiveness of it. Just getting past that guy, guarding that guy.
Right.
Apart from you, and just the tackling and the physicality of defense.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit now about some of the schools that have Georgia just offered you. You were looking at Oregon. What are some of the schools just out there that have offered you?
The big ones, you have Oregon, Miami, Michigan, Notre Dame, Arizona for sure. Who are some more? USC, UCLA. But they're big ones to me.
Okay, so when you got your first offer, what was it like? Who was your first offer, and what was it like when you got that? Because go ahead.
Came from ASU, and following that was U of A, and both I was just on cloud nine. Like there's really no way to explain it. It was just a surreal experience, and I'm blessed that I'm in this position.
Okay, you mentioned a little bit about Arizona, so talk a little bit about Jed Fish and the coaching staff. They've been in pretty steady contact with you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I love Coach Kafusi and all of the coaching staff. I like their vision. I like their vision and what they plan for the program. It's just for recruiting wise, it's just too early to say all that stuff.
Okay, so when you're looking at kind of your ideal school, and then we're going to get back to your goals on the football field, what are you looking for just kind of in your ideal school? Connection with the coaches, where you can blossom academics. What kind of stuff's the Rushing family looking for?
Football, I'm looking for coaches that are there to make me the best version of myself. I don't particularly do well with like coaches like the rah guy, really just helping me develop myself into a man, into the best version of myself that I can possibly be.
Okay. Now on the field, what now are you working on? Would you say what are the strengths to your game right now? What are the areas that you're still trying to, kind of feel out?
Definitely getting bigger, faster, stronger. Bigger, faster, stronger while working on my hand and my technical skills.
How is that like? Because you're a big bodied kid right there, and a lot of times when you're your age, it's difficult to put on a lot of mass because you're still growing, you're big. How's that going for you?
It's been going well. I've been able to put on the weight, definitely get stronger with my strength coach, Coach Garrett. So that's definitely been a huge factor in the strength, the speed wise, definitely the conditioning piece, getting some speed track work with local track team, Arizona Titans, the track coach Freddie Lux, and a few speed trainers such as Kyle Lard. Like people like that definitely know what they're doing and they're to help me get to be the best version of myself.
Okay. Now when you got 2 years left then at Sal Point, you've got high expectations. And I think a lot of people, you look around the country and obviously you got Bijan Robinson doing his thing at Texas. You got Lathan Ransom at Ohio State. You're kind of, there's obviously other players, but you're that real next big name on there. Is it, is that something like kind of a torch that you take with pride, being that Sal Point has produced so many good players of late?
It's definitely something that I think about, but really me just staying humble and knowing that it's everyone. It's like a whole community. It's a whole community of people, like a family, not getting too big-headed at that site, just staying focused on the goal and being the best version of myself. So sometimes I think about it a little bit, but I don't dwell on it a lot because I try and stay focused on what my goals are.
Right. Now, were you born in Tucson?
Yes, I would.
Okay, so you're born and raised in Tucson. There's not a lot of kids, that have been recruited at your level and were born and raised in Tucson. So that's a pretty unique little quality right there for you.
Yes, sir.
Did you now? Okay, so now you got 2 years left. Then, what are your goals then individually? Do you set individual goals for yourself? Then, do you have goals for your team? How would you like to see your next 2 years play out?
Let me think about that.
Yeah, you're good. Take your time, my man.
Definitely team and me. I definitely want a championship. That's the biggest thing. Because my past 2 years, we've been so close to it, but fell short. So I really want to reach that goal, and I know all my teammates do also.
Okay, great. All right, now you've got. As far as, are you trying to take as many, because it's obviously early in the process. Are you trying to take as many, visits as you can when possible to other schools just so you can maybe, make the most informed decision? Obviously it's early, but are you going to try to take as many visits as possible?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just getting the feel of each coaches, like the family environment there, and just seeing what the whole campus and the facilities are about so I can make the best decision for me.
Okay. Did you have a player you had idolized growing up? Well, you are still growing up. And who do you when you watch football with your pops? Is there a player or is there a team that you look at and you're like, that's who I want to be like? Anything like that?
I don't necessarily have a team, but I have like a few people that I watch that are in my position, like people like Micah Parsons, Kayvon Thibodeau, Daniil Hunter, Cam Jordan, Von Miller, like guys that I can take pieces of stuff from their game so I can make my game more round.
Okay, great. Now, before we let you go right here, what is the, when you look forward, where would you like to be ideally? Where would you see yourself in, say, 10 years? What would you like to be doing at that point?
I know that I'm gifted in math, so school-wise, definitely something in the math field, something in the math field, definitely.
Okay, great. Elijah, we can't thank you enough for you hopping on right here again. Everybody I've talked to said that you're, as humble a kid as will come across. I know a couple of people on the coaching staff that speak incredibly highly of you. And, it's great to just have a guy like you in Tucson and just keep doing your thing, my man. And again, can't thank you enough for coming on. And we'll definitely have you back on again in the future, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks so much. That's Elijah Rushing, Sal Point 2024 top-rated defensive end in the entire country, joining us here on the AZ Wildcats podcast. And honestly, that's what's most enjoyable about doing a job like this is being able to talk with somebody like that, because I'll tell you, I'm going to break down his game a little bit for you right now. and we got KJ Lewis coming up. He's pushing it back just a little bit. But what I like most about a kid like that is when you're a sophomore in high school, going to be a junior, and you've already received offers from Georgia, USC, UCLA, both the in-state schools. You're something a little bit different, and you generally don't see guys like that in Tucson. Now, Tucson's a little bit of a slept-on city, and we'll get to that in just a second. But the one thing that's not slept on is the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Code word PHNX. My guy Sean there, making everything look good. He's got it up in the corner right there. Make it happen. You throw down $5 on the game tonight, and if North Carolina or Kansas wins, you get $200 in free plays, and it's that simple. It's that easy. And 21 and up, Arizona only. Got a gambling problem, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. They'll get you all taken care of. Again, DraftKings Sportsbook app. All right. Now, back to Elijah Rushing for a moment here. When you're a sophomore in high school and you already have offers from Georgia, all the schools that we just mentioned, but let's be honest, by the time it's all done, he's going to be offered by pretty much everybody. That's pretty rare, especially in Tucson. He's a sophomore, but this is where I wanted to go with this, because he talked about a little bit about Arizona, but this is where you get into how important of a recruit this is for Arizona, because Jedd Fisch obviously has recruited at an incredibly high level. There's no doubt about that. But now the next step is, and these are the kids that have eluded previous coaching staffs, whether that's a Bijan Robinson, like we talked about, a Lathan Ransom, a Bruno Fina. It's getting those top-notch kids to be able to stay home, to be able to stay here and back the A, like the A behind me right there. This kid's a difference maker. He's a 5-star, depending on which service you look at, and edge rushers are the hardest thing to be able to find in all of college football. There's a reason that they're are in such premium display right there, and Elijah Rushing is certainly that type of guy right there. So again, this is going to be a kid that you're going to want to follow really closely. We're going to have him back on here. And again, we've got KJ Lewis coming up. His practice ran a little bit late, so he's going to be running at 6 o'clock with us right here. But again, back to Elijah Rushing here for a moment. When you look at him and go try to make as many South Point games as possible, because it's easy to see what schools see in him. First of all, he just sticks out. He's got that type of build too, that you can tell that he's probably going to be able to be about 265, 270 pounds. And when he comes from the type of lineage and the type of football, royalty that he does come from, that's really going to help him right there. And again, being really humble is something that's going to help him out big time right there. All right, again, DraftKings Sportsbook app, code word PHNX, $5 on the game tonight, whether that's, it doesn't matter who you pick Kansas or you pick North Carolina, you get $200 in free plays. That simple, that easy. Again, this is going to be the last tournament game of the year. Make it worth your while. Again, DraftKings Sportsbook app. All right, we're going to be back with you here in about 40 minutes or so. KJ Lewis is just getting out of practice, and he's going to talk about what it means for him to become an Arizona Wildcat, what he's been up to. We got a lot of good stuff. We're just getting started here today. So we'll be back with you in about 40 minutes or so. Sean, thanks for making me look good back there. Again, signing off right here, but back the A, and we'll be back with Arizona's future starting shooting guard, KJ Lewis.